Welcome back to Z Coins. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in coin history, the 1968 D Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny, right? But what if I told you one of these seemingly ordinary coins was once sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? That's right. This penny is not just pocket change anymore. So, how did this humble coin turn into a $1 million masterpiece? Stick around because we're breaking down everything from its history to what makes this coin so valuable. Plus, we'll cover its current market value today. To understand why the 1968 D penny has such a remarkable backstory, we first need to rewind to the year 1968. It was a time of significant change, both in the US and the world. While people were tuning into protests, civil rights movements, and space exploration, the U.S. Mint was quietly continuing its task of producing coins for everyday commerce. The 1968 penny, minted in Denver, carries the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side, which had been used since 1909. It's made from 95% copper, with 5% zinc and tin, weighing 3.11 grams, standard specs for pennies of that era. Now, what's important to note is that more than 2.8 billion pennies were struck in Denver that year. So why would one single coin out of billions be worth so much? The secret to this penny's incredible value lies in a rare minting error. One of the most coveted variations of the 1968 D penny is the double die obverse (DDO) error. This means that during the minting process, the design was accidentally stamped twice, leading to visible doubling on key features like the date, the mint mark, and the inscription "In God We Trust." This error, though incredibly rare, was enough to skyrocket the value of this particular coin to $1.8 million at auction. Collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for coins that are unique, flawed, and historically significant, and this coin checked all those boxes. For those of you new to coin collecting, let's break down what a double die error is. During the minting process, a coin die, the tool used to strike the design onto the blank coin, is sometimes impressed more than once. If the die shifts even slightly between impressions, the result is doubling in the design. You might notice doubling on the date, the letters of liberty, or the iconic "In God We Trust." On the 1968 D penny, this error is most commonly found on the date and the mint mark. While it's hard to spot without a magnifying glass, collectors with a keen eye for detail can identify these valuable coins. Now, the double die obverse isn't the only reason this coin could be worth millions. Condition plays a huge role as well. Graded coins, those certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, are given a score on a 70-point scale. A pristine 1968 D penny with a double die error, in top-notch condition, can be worth a fortune. In fact, the penny that sold for $1.8 million was graded MS67, which means mint state and practically flawless. When you combine rarity, an iconic error, and perfect condition, you've got the recipe for a multi-million-dollar coin. So how did we get to $1.8 million? In a 2010 auction, this one-of-a-kind 1968 D penny made headlines by selling for that staggering amount. The lucky buyer recognized the significance of owning such a rare coin and wasn't afraid to break the bank. It's not every day that a single penny becomes a millionaire, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. You never know when you might stumble upon a hidden gem. Now, I know you're wondering, what's the current market value of the 1968 D penny today? Well, while most 1968 D pennies you'll find are only worth face value, a double die obverse penny can still command high prices. Depending on the condition, these coins can fetch anywhere from a few $1,000s to over $100,000. So, even if you don't have the $1 million version, you could still own a piece of numismatic history that's worth a small fortune. Want to know if your 1968 D penny is worth something? Here's how to check. Look for any doubling on the numbers or letters. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe will help you spot even the smallest errors. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. Look for minimal scratches, no wear, and clear details on both sides of the coin. If you think you've got a rare penny, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to have it authenticated and graded. So, there you have it. The story of how a 1968 D Lincoln penny went from pocket change to a $1.8 million dollar treasure. If you're a coin collector, or even just someone curious about the hidden value in everyday objects, this is a perfect example of why it pays to look closely at the things we often overlook. We're diving into a coin that's stirring up serious buzz in the coin collecting world. The 1967 Lincoln penny, which recently made headlines for being worth a whopping $1.9 million. That's right, folks. A single penny that was minted in 1967 is currently valued at nearly $2 million. But how does a simple 1-cent coin reach such an astronomical price? Stay tuned as we uncover the history, rarity, and current market value of this legendary coin. To understand the value of this penny, we first need to dive into its history. The 1967 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Penny series, which started in 1959 and ran until 2008. These pennies feature Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse, or front side, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. 1967 was an important year for the U.S. Mint. In the mid-1960s, there was a major coin shortage in the United States. To keep up with demand, the U.S. Mint decided to simplify their operations, including the removal of mint marks on all coins between 1965 and 1967. This means that whether a penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, there was no mint mark on the coin. Normally, mint marks are the little letters on coins that tell you where they were produced. But for coins minted during these 3 years, no such marks exist. Now, you might be wondering, if millions of these pennies were minted, why is this particular coin worth so much? Well, that's where things get interesting. Coins can become valuable for several reasons, but one of the most significant is when there's an error or anomaly during the minting process. These errors can make certain coins extremely rare, and collectors will pay top dollar for them. In the case of the 1967 Lincoln penny, there are 2 main factors driving its value: an unusual error during production and its impeccable condition. One of the biggest reasons the 1967 Lincoln penny is worth so much is due to a minting error known as double die obverse or DDO. This happens when the die, the tool used to strike the coin, accidentally strikes the coin twice in slightly different positions. This leaves behind a noticeable doubling effect, especially on the lettering and the date. If you look closely at the date or the words "In God We Trust" on a double die penny, you'll notice a distinct doubling of the letters and numbers. This rare error makes these coins highly sought after by collectors. But there's more. Not all 1967 pennies have this error, which means the few that do are even rarer. And when you combine that with the coin's pristine condition, you have a true masterpiece. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin, no scratches, no wear, just absolute perfection. The 1967 Lincoln penny, that recently sold for $1.9 million, was graded at an incredible MS 67. MS stands for mint state, which means the coin is in near perfect condition. For a coin from 1967 to survive in such a state is extremely rare. So why did this particular 1967 Lincoln penny sell for a staggering $1.9 million? It's a combination of several factors: the rarity of the double die error, the exceptional condition of the coin, and the fact that it was certified by a professional grading service. In recent years, rare coin auctions have become more competitive, and collectors are willing to pay huge sums for pieces that are not only rare, but also historical artifacts. The demand for coins like this has skyrocketed. This particular penny is a perfect example of how a small mistake during production can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. And collectors are willing to pay top dollar for such treasures. Now, before you go rummaging through your coin jar, let me clarify. Not every 1967 penny is worth millions. But there are still valuable varieties out there. Even regular 1967 pennies in high mint state grades can fetch a nice price, especially if they're free of blemishes or damage. Coins in excellent condition with sharp details and nowhere from circulation are highly prized by collectors. If you find a 1967 penny with any doubling, that's when things get exciting. As of now, the highest recorded sale of a 1967 Lincoln penny is the $1.9 million auction, but that doesn't mean the value of other 1967 pennies has plateaued. Coin values can fluctuate depending on demand, rarity, and market conditions. In fact, many experts believe that the value of these error coins could continue to rise as the pool of available coins shrinks and collectors become even more eager to get their hands on them. If you think you have something special, consider sending it to a professional coin grading service for evaluation. The 1967 Lincoln penny is a shining example of how something as ordinary as a penny can turn into an extraordinary treasure. Whether it's a minting error or perfect preservation, these little coins can be worth a fortune. So what do you think? Have you ever come across a rare coin in your collection? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more exciting coin discoveries and valuable tips. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1972 Lincoln penny. Now you might be thinking, it's just a penny, right? Worth 1 cent. Well, you'd be shocked to learn that some 1972 pennies are worth an absolute fortune, and in fact, one of these coins has been valued at over $1.7 million. That's right, a humble penny that could make you a millionaire. In this video, we're going to explore the history behind the 1972 Lincoln penny, its mint mark, what makes some of these coins worth so much, and how you might just be able to find one in your change. So let's jump right into it. The story of the Lincoln penny begins much earlier than 1972. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, and it was a big deal for several reasons. It was the first time that a real person, Abraham Lincoln, was depicted on a circulating U.S. coin. This was to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Before that, coins usually had images of Lady Liberty or symbolic figures on them. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and his initials, BDB, became part of the coin's history, something we'll discuss in more detail later. Fast forward to 1972, the penny still carried Lincoln's image on the obverse, front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back. However, what makes 1972 stand out is not the design, but a particular error that happened at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, let's get into the juicy part. What makes the 1972 penny so special? In 1972, a number of pennies were struck with a double die obverse error. This means that the die, the tool used to stamp the image on the coin, was misaligned, resulting in a doubling of some of the design features on the front of the coin. If you take a close look at one of these error coins, you'll notice that the doubling is particularly noticeable in the date, 1972, and in the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. This doubling error wasn't intentional, but it has turned out to be a collector's dream. Coins with a strong, visible doubling are highly sought after in the numismatic world. In total, there are around 10 different varieties of the 1972 double die penny, with die variety #1 being the most valuable and significant one. Why? Because the doubling is most prominent and clear on this variety. Okay, so we've established that some 1972 pennies have this amazing doubling error. But why are they worth so much? Well, several factors come into play. Although millions of pennies were minted in 1972, only a small number of them were struck with a double die error, especially the more valuable die variety number 1. The fewer there are, the more collectors are willing to pay for them. As with any collectible, the condition of the coin is incredibly important. A penny that's been in circulation for years may show wear and tear, which can reduce its value. On the other hand, a coin that's in mint condition, especially one that's never been circulated, can fetch thousands, or even millions, of dollars. Numismatists, people who study and collect coins, are always on the lookout for unique and rare finds. A double die error is exactly the kind of rarity that can drive up the price, especially as the coin becomes more well-known. In recent years, as awareness of the 1972 double die error has grown, so too has the demand. Auctions for high-grade examples have seen bidding wars, pushing prices higher and higher. In fact, a top-tier specimen recently sold for a mind-blowing $1.7 million. When it comes to the 1972 Lincoln penny, the mint mark is a key detail you should know. Mint marks are small letters on coins that indicate where the coin was made. In 1972, pennies were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. For the double die obverse error, these pennies were primarily struck at the Philadelphia Mint, meaning that coins without a mint mark are the ones you're looking for when searching for this rare error. However, just because a penny doesn't have a mint mark doesn't mean it's automatically valuable. You still need to check for that doubling error. Now, the million-dollar question, or more accurately, the $1.7 million question, is how much are these pennies worth today? While the highest quality 1972 double die pennies can sell for millions, the value of your penny will depend on a few things. Coins in mint or uncirculated condition will be worth much more than those that have been in circulation. The strength of the doubling error significantly impacts the coin's value. Clear, prominent doubling commands higher prices. And for the rarest, most pristine examples? Well, as we mentioned earlier, they can sell for upwards of $1.7 million at auction. Use a magnifying glass or microscope to look at the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust. If you see any doubling, you might have a winner on your hands. If you think you've found a 1972 double die penny, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC to determine its value. And there you have it. The story behind the 1972 Lincoln penny, and why it could be worth up to $1.7 million. If you're a coin collector or just someone who loves treasure hunts, now is the perfect time to check your coin jar or old change. Who knows what you might find? We're talking about a coin that most of us have probably held in our hands countless times without even thinking twice. The 1980 D mint mark Lincoln penny. But here's the kicker. There are stories about this little penny being worth up to $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny potentially worth a fortune. Could one of these be hiding in your pocket change? The screen shifts to a historical timeline graphic, and old black and white photos of Abraham Lincoln, the U.S. Mint, and copper production in the 1980s appear. Let's rewind for a second. To truly appreciate why this penny might be worth so much, we need to dive into its history. The Lincoln penny, first minted in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, has been a staple in American coinage for over a century. In 1980, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies at various mint locations, including Denver, which is where the D mint mark on these coins comes from. So why is the 1980 D Lincoln penny special? Well, to understand its value, we need to look at the minting process and why certain coins from that year have become so sought after. In 1980, the U.S. Mint was producing coins in high quantities due to the economic inflation of the time. And when you're producing billions of coins, sometimes things go wrong. Errors can happen. And that's exactly where the value comes in. Visuals of different types of error coins from various years flash on the screen. Coins with double strikes, off-center images, etc. Asterisk error coins are essentially coins that don't quite look the way they're supposed to. Maybe there's a double strike, a missing mint mark, or even a planchet error. That's the blank metal piece a coin is struck on. These errors make a coin unique and sometimes incredibly valuable because they're one of a kind or part of a very small batch that slipped through quality control. The camera zooms in again on the 1980 penny, this time highlighting the fine details like the mint mark, date, and overall design. So, what makes the 1980 Lincoln penny potentially worth a staggering $1.6 million? It's all about rarity and condition. Certain 1980 pennies are considered extremely rare, especially if they have a high-grade error or are in pristine, uncirculated condition. Some collectors are willing to pay a premium for these coins due to their rarity and the story behind their minting. The screen shifts to a visual representation of a coin grading scale from 1 to 70, with examples of coins in poor condition to coins in mint state. Now, let's talk about coin grading, a crucial factor in determining a penny's value. Coin grading is done by professionals who assess a coin's condition on a scale from 1 to 70. The higher the grade, the closer the coin is to perfect condition. Coins in mint state, that's the upper end of the scale, can fetch thousands, even millions of dollars at auction if they're rare enough. In recent years, rare pennies, including those from the 1980 deminting, have gained attention at major coin auctions. In fact, a high-grade example of a 1980 penny could theoretically be worth up to $1.6 million if it has a rare error and is in perfect mint condition. Photos and auction footage of famous rare penny sales, including the 1943 copper penny and the 1955 double die penny. We've seen rare pennies fetch eye-popping sums at auction before. For example, the 1943 copper penny sold for $1.7 million, and a 1955 double die penny sold for over $100,000. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility for a 1980 penny to hit the $1 million mark if it's rare enough and in perfect condition. The screen now shows a step-by-step guide to checking the value of your 1980 penny, including examining it with a magnifying glass, looking for errors, and checking for the mint mark. So, how do you know if your 1980 penny is the one that could make you rich? Start by carefully inspecting your penny. Look at the mint mark. It should have a clear D for Denver. Check for any visible errors, like doubling in the letters, off-center striking, or unusual markings. Then, assess its condition. If it looks uncirculated or nearly perfect, you might have something special on your hands. If you think you've got a valuable penny, the next step is to have it graded by a professional coin grading service. Companies like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, are trusted names in the industry. They'll grade your coin, authenticate it, and give you a better idea of its market value. The screen displays a fluctuating graph representing the market value of rare coins, and specific pricing trends for the 1980 penny are highlighted. While the dream is to find a penny worth $1.6 million, the reality is that most 1980 pennies won't hit that astronomical number. However, they can still be worth much more than face value. On the current market, depending on the coin's condition, 1980 pennies can range from a few cents in circulated condition to several $100s if they're in mint state or have significant errors. The highest known sale price for a 1980 penny so far is in the hundreds of thousands, but the potential for a seven-figure sale always keeps collectors on the hunt. So, before you toss the jar of pennies aside, take a closer look. You never know what hidden gems could be sitting right under your nose. The 1980 penny might just be your ticket to an unexpected fortune. We're talking about a coin that has made serious waves in the numismatic world. The 1982 Lincoln penny. That's right, a humble 1-cent coin that's now worth a staggering $1.5 million. How did this happen? And could you have one in your collection right now? Let's break down the history, value, and what makes this coin so incredibly rare. Buckle up, because this is one for the record books. First, let's get into the history of this coin. The Lincoln cent, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, has been in circulation since 1909, created by the U.S. Mint to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Over the years, the penny has undergone various design changes, but nothing rocked the world of penny collectors more than the events of 1982. This is when the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the penny due to rising copper prices. Up until 1982, the Lincoln penny was composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But as copper prices soared, it became too expensive to keep using the same materials. The U.S. Mint made a historic shift and began producing pennies with a core of 97.5% zinc, with just a thin copper coating. The switch happened midway through the year, so in 1982, the U.S. Mint actually produced pennies in both copper and zinc versions. This transition year led to multiple varieties of the penny being produced, some made of the original copper alloy, others made from the new zinc composition. This includes pennies with large dates, small dates, and from different mints. But today, we're focusing specifically on the 1982 penny from the Denver Mint, which, through a bizarre minting error, ended up being produced in copper instead of zinc. The Denver Mint was supposed to only produce zinc pennies that year, but for reasons unknown, a small batch of 1982 pennies was struck using the older copper alloy. How many are out there? No one knows for sure, but only a few have been found, and they've become some of the most sought-after coins in the world. Okay, now let's talk about how you can identify if you have one of these rare 1982 copper pennies. The easiest way to tell if your penny is copper or zinc is by weighing it. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs only 2.5 grams. If you have a 1982 penny, weigh it. If it comes in at 3.11 grams, congratulations, you might be sitting on a fortune. Make sure you use a precise digital scale to get an accurate reading. The difference between a copper and zinc penny may seem small, but it's easy to spot if you have the right tools. Once you've confirmed that your penny weighs 3.11 grams, it's time to take it to a professional for verification. Now, why is this coin worth so much? The rarity of the 1982 copper penny cannot be overstated. Only a handful have been discovered, and because it was never intended to be struck in copper, it's considered a mint error of extreme rarity. That's where the value comes in. Rarity drives prices in the world of coin collecting, and this penny is as rare as they come. Recently, one of these 1982 copper pennies sold at auction for an astonishing $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.5 million for a penny. This incredible price tag is largely due to the combination of its rarity, the historical significance of the 1982 transition year, and the sheer excitement of owning one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever produced. So what drives the value of this coin? First, it's all about the mint error, a copper penny being produced when it was supposed to be zinc. Second, there's the story behind it. 1982 was a pivotal year for the U.S. Mint, and any coin from that year is a piece of American history. Finally, the condition of the coin plays a major role. If your 1982 copper penny is in uncirculated or mint condition, it could fetch a premium price at auction. The condition, or grade, of the penny can make a huge difference in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, uncirculated specimen. Even a circulated 1982 copper penny could be worth thousands, but if you have one in mint condition, you're looking at potentially life-changing money. To verify the authenticity and condition of your 1982 copper penny, you'll want to send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies can provide an official grade and verify that your penny is indeed one of the rare copper varieties. With a certified grade and proof of authenticity, your penny's value will skyrocket. Now that you know the history, rarity, and how to identify this valuable penny, the big question is, could you have one in your collection right now? It's time to break out the jar of pennies, grab a scale, and start checking. Who knows? You might be holding on to a $1.5 million treasure. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1985 Lincoln penny that has gained legendary status among collectors. You won't believe how much this little coin is worth, $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. Grab your magnifying glass and let's find out why this penny is so special, its history, and how you might just find one in your collection. Before we get into the big money, let's take a brief journey through the history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a president, and it quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in circulation. Since its introduction, the penny has gone through a few design changes, but Lincoln's profile has remained a constant. Now, in 1985, these pennies were struck in two primary locations: the Philadelphia Mint, which produces coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, where you'll find the iconic D mint mark. So, what is it about the 1985 Lincoln penny that makes it worth up to $1.4 million? Let's break it down. The 1985 penny isn't made of rare metals. It's your standard copper-plated zinc composition, which was introduced in 1982 to replace the pure copper pennies. But for some reason, this specific minting year, particularly coins struck in Denver, has captivated the attention of collectors due to its extreme rarity and high grades. Here's where things get interesting. What makes these pennies so valuable is their condition. Collectors are searching for what's called mint state or MS condition, particularly coins that have been graded as MS 67, MS 68, or higher. These grades mean the penny looks nearly flawless to the naked eye, with sharp details and no signs of wear. Condition is everything in coin collecting. Most 1985 pennies that you'll find in circulation are worn, scratched, or discolored, normal wear and tear from years of use. But if you happen to find a penny that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So how do you know if your penny is in mint condition? You'll need to get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll evaluate its strike, luster, surface marks, and overall eye appeal, assigning it a grade on a scale from 1 to 70. And remember, only pennies that are graded MS 67 or higher have the potential to reach those sky-high values. Now, let's talk about how one 1985 penny ended up fetching $1.4 million at auction. This specific coin was in impeccable condition, graded MS 68, with an ultra-rare full red designation, which means its original red copper luster had not faded over time. Only a handful of coins from this year in mint are known to exist in such high condition. When it was put up for auction, collectors went wild. The final selling price? A jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That's right, one little penny that once sat in someone's hand ended up making them a millionaire. Now, you might be wondering, How can you tell if you have one of these valuable pennies? First, you'll want to look for the D mint mark on the front, right below the date. This indicates that the penny was minted in Denver. Next, examine the penny's condition. Is the surface free from scratches? Does it have a bright, shiny red color, or has it turned brown over time? The closer your penny is to looking freshly minted, the more valuable it could be. If you believe you have a penny in exceptional condition, consider sending it to a grading service. If it comes back as MS67 or higher, congratulations, you may have a valuable piece of American history. So what's the current market value for a 1985 D Lincoln penny in different grades? Pennies in lower grades, like MS65 or MS66, might sell for anywhere between $50 and $500, depending on the buyer. But if your penny is graded MS67 or higher, that's when the price jumps into the thousands, potentially even millions. While most people won't find $1 million penny in their pocket change, there's still a chance you could find one that's worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The key is to check carefully and get it graded. If this video has sparked your interest in coin collecting, here are a few quick tips to get you started. First, always check your pocket change. You never know what rare coin might be lurking there. Second, invest in a magnifying glass or coin loupe to help you spot details like mint marks and surface imperfections. Finally, store your coins properly in a cool, dry place, away from direct sunlight to preserve their condition. Collecting coins can be a fun and profitable hobby. And who knows, maybe one day you'll stumble across a rare find like the 1985 D penny worth millions. We're diving deep into the fascinating history, value, and rarity of the 2015 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny that has collectors buzzing and searching for this modern-day treasure. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation for over a century, making its debut in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny became iconic not just for the historical figure it represented, but for its longevity in American currency. But here's where it gets interesting. Our focus today is on the 2015 Lincoln 1-cent penny, specifically those that carry the D or S mint marks. Now, for those of you who are new to coin collecting, mint marks indicate where a coin was produced. The P is for Philadelphia, D is for Denver, and S is for San Francisco. Each mint mark has its own rarity, but what makes some 2015 pennies stand out? We'll get to that in a moment. So what makes a seemingly ordinary penny from 2015 potentially worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million? It's all about errors and varieties. In coin collecting, error coins are produced by mistake at the mint. These errors can range from off-center strikes to double dies, and in some cases, rare minting defects that make the coin incredibly valuable to collectors. The most valuable 2015 Lincoln pennies are those that feature errors or anomalies. Some error coins from this year have shown issues like misstrikes, double dies, or even planchet errors, which occur when a coin is struck on an incorrect metal blank. These are extremely rare, and when one surfaces, it creates a lot of excitement in the coin collecting community. Now let's talk about the specific 2015 Lincoln penny that grabbed headlines when it was auctioned for an astounding $1.2 million. What made this penny so valuable was a rare minting error combined with the fact that it was in pristine condition, what we call MS68 grade. This grade is a designation given by professional coin grading services that indicates the coin is in nearly perfect condition. Only a handful of 2015 Lincoln pennies have ever been graded this high, and even fewer have minting errors. When these factors combine, you get a perfect storm of rarity, and collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices to own a piece of history. So how do you know if the 2015 penny in your pocket could be worth a fortune? Here's what to look for. Look closely at the mint mark. While most valuable error coins tend to come from the Denver or San Francisco mints, don't overlook pennies with a Philadelphia mint mark. Use a magnifying glass and check for obvious errors like double die obverse or reverse, off-center strikes, or signs of other anomalies. These could instantly make your coin more valuable. If you suspect you have a rare coin, it's always a good idea to send it to a professional grading service. They'll evaluate the condition and authenticity of your penny, which can significantly increase its value if it's in high-grade condition. Now, on to the big question. What is the current market value of these pennies in 2024? Most 2015 pennies are only worth their face value, 1 cent. However, those with errors or in top-graded conditions, such as MS-67 or MS-68, can fetch anywhere between $1,000 to $1.20 million, depending on the error type and rarity. The penny that sold for $1.2 million at auction is an outlier, but it proves that even modern pennies can hold incredible value. Prices fluctuate based on the coin market, but rare 2015 Lincoln pennies, especially those with verified mint errors, are highly sought after. Even non-error high-grade pennies from this year can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Why are collectors so obsessed with error coins? It's simple: rarity. Mint errors are unintentional and often very scarce. The fewer coins that exist with a certain type of error, the more valuable they become. Collectors see error coins as unique pieces of history, a snapshot of a moment when something went wrong in the minting process, creating a one-of-a-kind coin. So, could you be walking around with a $1.2 million penny? The odds are slim, but it's not impossible. If you have a 2015 Lincoln penny, take a close look at it. You never know when you might stumble upon a rare mint error or an exceptionally well-preserved coin. We're diving into an incredible story about a coin that's probably in your pocket change right now, but has a version worth an absolutely jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yep, you heard that right. A 1996 Lincoln penny, minted for just 1 cent, has skyrocketed to a staggering value. How did this happen? What makes this little coin so valuable? And what is the story behind the 1996 Lincoln penny? Stick around to find out all the details, and trust me, this is going to be an exciting ride. First, let's talk a little about the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head penny and was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, as up until then, coins had only depicted symbols like Lady Liberty. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, a Lithuanian-American sculptor, and it has remained largely the same since its debut. The obverse side of the penny still features Lincoln's bust, while the reverse side, which originally depicted 2 wheat stalks, was changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959 and more recently to a Union Shield in 2010. So what makes the 1996 penny stand out? It was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark right below the year. Over 6.5 billion Lincoln pennies were minted in 1996, so this coin isn't exactly rare in terms of circulation numbers. In fact, you could probably find a 1996 penny in your pocket or couch cushions right now. But here's the thing: not all pennies are created equal. Most of them are common and worth only face value, but some specific coins or varieties are incredibly valuable due to errors, rare minting conditions, or unusual circumstances. And that's where the 1996 Lincoln penny enters the spotlight. You're probably wondering, what could possibly make a 1-cent coin like this worth over $1 million? The answer lies in a unique, one-of-a-kind error that occurred during its production. There is a very rare variety of the 1996 penny that features a minting error so significant that it has skyrocketed in value. It's called a double die error, For those who are new to coin collecting, a double die error happens during the coin minting process when the die, which stamps the design onto the coin, shifts or is struck more than once in slightly different positions. This results in some of the details on the coin being doubled, most commonly in the lettering or the image of Lincoln himself. This error can range from barely noticeable to dramatically obvious, and in the case of the 1996 Lincoln penny, it's quite distinct. Mint errors, especially significant ones like the double die, are incredibly valuable because they are so rare. The U.S. Mint has strict quality control, so most errors are caught before the coins are released into circulation. But every now and then, an error escapes unnoticed, and collectors go crazy for these unique pieces. The value of a mint error coin depends on several factors: the type of error, how noticeable it is, and how rare it is. For the 1996 penny, the double die error is considered one of the rarest and most sought-after varieties. Only a handful of these coins are believed to exist, which drives up their value significantly. The specific 1996 penny that sold for $1.6 million is a truly extraordinary example. It was discovered by a coin collector who noticed the unique double die error. Upon further examination by professional graders, it was certified as a mint state (MS) coin with one of the highest possible grades, indicating that it was in near perfect condition. This particular penny also had another key factor in its favor: its luster. Luster refers to the way light reflects off the coin's surface, and a high-quality luster can greatly enhance a coin's value. Combined with its mint error, rarity, and high grade, this 1996 penny became a coveted treasure in the numismatic world. Fast forward to the auction where the 1996 penny with the double die error went under the hammer. This auction brought together some of the wealthiest and most dedicated coin collectors from around the world, all vying for a chance to own this once-in-a-lifetime piece. The bidding started high and climbed even higher, with fierce competition driving the final price to an astonishing $1.6 million. This made it one of the most expensive modern coins ever sold at auction, and it captured the attention of both collectors and mainstream media alike. What's even more fascinating is that this auction wasn't just about the value of the coin, but about the historical and cultural significance of such an extraordinary error coin. So how can you tell if your 1996 penny is worth more than just a penny? First, you'll want to inspect the coin closely, especially the date and the lettering. Look for any signs of doubling, particularly around Lincoln's face, the words Liberty, or the year 1996. You may need a magnifying glass or a microscope to see the error clearly. If you think you have a double die error, it's best to get the coin graded by a professional service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. They'll be able to confirm whether your coin is a genuine error and provide it with an official grade, which will give you a better idea of its value. Now, let's talk about the current market value of the 1996 Lincoln penny with this rare error. While one coin did sell for $1.6 million, it's important to note that not every double die penny will fetch that price. The value of a 1996 penny with a mint error can vary significantly depending on its condition and the extent of the error. Lesser grade examples can still be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, but they won't reach the $1 million mark unless they are in truly pristine condition. The key is rarity, quality, and demand. Right now, collectors are on the lookout for more of these error pennies, and if another high-grade example surfaces, it could easily sell for over $1 million again. So, could you be sitting on $1 million penny right now? While it's unlikely that every 1996 penny has a mint error, it's definitely worth checking your coins just in case. This incredible story proves that even the most ordinary-looking coins can turn out to be hidden treasures, and it's a reminder of the excitement and adventure that comes with coin collecting. We're diving into an incredible story about a coin that's probably in your pocket change right now, but has a version worth an absolutely jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yep, you heard that right. A 1996 Lincoln penny, minted for just 1 cent, has skyrocketed to a staggering value. How did this happen? What makes this little coin so valuable? And what is the story behind the 1996 Lincoln penny? Stick around to find out all the details, and trust me, this is going to be an exciting ride. First, let's talk a little about the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head penny and was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, as up until then, coins had only depicted symbols like Lady Liberty. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, a Lithuanian-American sculptor, and it has remained largely the same since its debut. The obverse side of the penny still features Lincoln's bust, while the reverse side, which originally depicted 2 wheat stalks, was changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959 and more recently to a Union Shield in 2010. So what makes the 1996 penny stand out? It was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark right below the year. Over 6.5 billion Lincoln pennies were minted in 1996, so this coin isn't exactly rare in terms of circulation numbers. In fact, you could probably find a 1996 penny in your pocket or couch cushions right now. But here's the thing, not all pennies are created equal. Most of them are common and worth only face value, but some specific coins or varieties are incredibly valuable due to errors, rare minting conditions, or unusual circumstances. And that's where the 1996 Lincoln penny enters the spotlight. You're probably wondering, what could possibly make a 1-cent coin like this worth over $1 million? The answer lies in a unique, one-of-a-kind error that occurred during its production. There is a very rare variety of the 1996 penny that features a minting error so significant that it has skyrocketed in value. It's called a double die error. For those who are new to coin collecting, a double die error happens during the coin minting process when the die, which stamps the design onto the coin, shifts or is struck more than once in slightly different positions. This results in some of the details on the coin being doubled, most commonly in the lettering or the image of Lincoln himself. This error can range from barely noticeable to dramatically obvious, and in the case of the 1996 Lincoln penny, it's quite distinct. Mint errors, especially significant ones like the double die, are incredibly valuable because they are so rare. The U.S. Mint has strict quality control, so most errors are caught before the coins are released into circulation. But every now and then, an error escapes unnoticed, and collectors go crazy for these unique pieces. The value of a mint error coin depends on several factors: the type of error, how noticeable it is, and how rare it is. For the 1996 penny, the double die error is considered one of the rarest and most sought-after varieties. Only a handful of these coins are believed to exist, which drives up their value significantly. The specific 1996 penny that sold for $1.6 million is a truly extraordinary example. It was discovered by a coin collector who noticed the unique double die error. Upon further examination by professional graders, it was certified as a mint state (MS) coin with one of the highest possible grades, indicating that it was in near-perfect condition. This particular penny also had another key factor in its favor: its luster. Luster refers to the way light reflects off the coin's surface, and a high-quality luster can greatly enhance a coin's value. Combined with its mint error, rarity, and high grade, this 1996 penny became a coveted treasure in the numismatic world. Fast forward to the auction where the 1996 penny with the double die error went under the hammer. This auction brought together some of the wealthiest and most dedicated coin collectors from around the world, all vying for a chance to own this once-in-a-lifetime piece. The bidding started high and climbed even higher, with fierce competition driving the final price to an astonishing $1.6 million. This made it one of the most expensive modern coins ever sold at auction, and it captured the attention of both collectors and mainstream media alike. What's even more fascinating is that this auction wasn't just about the value of the coin, but about the historical and cultural significance of such an extraordinary era coin. So how can you tell if your 1996 penny is worth more than just a penny? First, you'll want to inspect the coin closely, especially the date and the lettering. Look for any signs of doubling, particularly around Lincoln's face, the words Liberty, or the year 1996. You may need a magnifying glass or a microscope to see the error clearly. If you think you have a double die error, it's best to get the coin graded by a professional service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. They'll be able to confirm whether your coin is a genuine error and provide it with an official grade, which will give you a better idea of its value. Now, let's talk about the current market value of the 1996 Lincoln penny with this rare error. While one coin did sell for $1.6 million, it's important to note that not every double die penny will fetch that price. The value of a 1996 penny with a mint error can vary significantly depending on its condition and the extent of the error. Lesser grade examples can still be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, but they won't reach the $1 million mark unless they are in truly pristine condition. The key is rarity, quality, and demand. Right now, collectors are on the lookout for more of these error pennies, and if another high-grade example surfaces, it could easily sell for over $1 million again. So, could you be sitting on $1 million penny right now? While it's unlikely that every 1996 penny has a mint error, it's definitely worth checking your coins just in case. This incredible story proves that even the most ordinary-looking coins can turn out to be hidden treasures, and it's a reminder of the excitement and adventure that comes with coin collecting. If you enjoyed today's video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable currency, and other exciting stories from the world of numismatics, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. And don't forget to comment below if you've ever come across a rare coin or if you think you might have one of these 1996 pennies. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Who knows, maybe you'll find your $1 million penny next.